What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be coding the M2 using Bimmercode. Now I know that a lot of you have seen me do Bimmercode videos before. A lot of you have continued to request more Bimmercode videos, but I'm only going to do a couple of Bimmercode videos on the M2 just because I've pretty much covered everything as far as coding is concerned on the F series chassis. And really when it comes to coding, it's very self-explanatory. Everything is right there in the app for you. We're using Bimmercode, for instance, and it's all right there. So if I were to continue coding individual features over and over again in different videos, it would become a little bit monotonous. So basically what I'm gonna be doing for this video is just coding everything that I want right off the bat in my M2 for now. Maybe I'll do some future follow-up videos, but right off the bat, I do have a couple of things in my new M2 that I want to code with Bimmercode. Just like the seatbelt reminder chime, I want to turn that off. The folding mirrors, I want to go ahead and turn that on, and then I want to poke around a little bit and see what else we have inside of Bimmercode for the M2. A little bit of backstory, I've coded pretty much everything that I could code in my F30 when I had it, and I coded everything that I wanted to code in my E90 M3, and now we are jumping into the F87 M2. The F30 didn't really have a whole lot of features, and that's really where Bimmercode shows its strengths, because it brings out a lot of the features that you didn't have already in your car. The M2, however, does have a ton of features, so I don't think there's going to be a lot of things that I'm really going to need to code, but in the F30, for example, we needed to code like sport trans, launch control, things like that. And Bimmercode really allowed me to go ahead and do that. So in my opinion, I prefer to use Bimmercode because it is not a subscription-based service, meaning they don't continually stick their hands in your pocket every year or every month. It's somewhere in the ballpark of $35, one-time fee. You pay that, and then you can pretty much code anything on your car, and it just pays for itself. It's like a no-brainer. The app is, however, free to download for iOS and Android, and you can use the demo version, but that does not actually allow you to code things. It just allows you to kind of poke around and see what's there. So if we hop over on Bimmercode's website, you're gonna see right here, download for iOS, download for Android. It's all right there for you. It's super, super easy to use this application. You just use a Bluetooth adapter. In this case, I like to use the VPeak Bluetooth adapter. It just has always been the best working adapter for me. It's also the same one that Bimmercode recommends. And for you guys, there is a discount code down in the description that you guys can save yourself a little bit of cash when buying the VPeak adapter. I did use the iCar V-Gate Pro in the past, like a long time ago, like a year ago, but it did end up having more and more issues over time with connectivity, and so I got rid of it. Bimmercode also removed it from their site, so clearly something was wrong there. Ended up going with the VPeak, been using this ever since, never had an issue with it, and it comes in a cool little leather case. So I always just keep this in my car and I can code things on the fly, I can code my friends' cars, it's pretty cool. It's an awesome tool to have. So it's also important to note that Bimmercode is super responsive. If you guys have support questions or anything, you can put in a support request through the app, and they're super responsive, get back to you if you have any issues or something that you run into, they can help you out. Another great thing to mention is this app saves your backups, so if you ever want to go back to stock or like a previous coding session that you had, you can. If you coded something that you're like, oh no, I didn't want to code that, I don't know how to get back, just use your backup and it'll get you right back to where you were before you coded all those functions. So rolling down here, we have supported cars. Let's go ahead and check the compatibility, and this will kind of tell you guys what we have here. 1 Series M Coupe, 2 Series M2, 2 Series. There are so many different cars that you guys can code. You can even code like the i8, the i3, Z4. In my case, obviously we have the 2 Series M2, F22, F23, and F87. Bam, so we're good, that's us. That's really what we're gonna be jumping into today. And we're gonna run out to the car and I'm gonna show you guys how to do everything, code it all. I'm gonna give you a screen capture of me actually doing it in the car just to make it as simple as possible. I'm also going to link in a playlist that has everything that I've ever coded with Bimmercode. It is super helpful. I highly suggest you guys go ahead and check it out. If you are unfamiliar with Bimmercode, watch this video right here, which is basically a beginner's guide tutorial on how to use Bimmercode. Just breaks down everything, super clear. And this app is very easy to learn, so I feel like it's very consumer friendly, especially if you're new to the coding world, you're not really familiar with this stuff. this app is basically like the easiest way to figure out how to code your car, because really Bimmercode does a good job of putting everything on the forefront and showing you what you can and can't do, just in the easiest method possible when it comes to coding your car. I suggest if you are new to coding, do not go into expert mode, just stick to the things that Bimmercode puts on the front page, just to avoid any issues down the line. All right, so if we hop over to like OBD adapters, you'll see that VPeak is right here. You'll see iCar VK Pro no longer recommended. They removed all those from there, so probably not the one to go with. I strongly suggest that you guys should just go for the VPeak. I've had zero issues with it, and it works on all the cars. It's Bluetooth, super easy to use. And like I said before, the links to everything that we're using today is in the description, as well as the discount code for you guys to save a little bit of cash on the VPeak. All right, so this shows you everything. You guys can see it right here. It looks like they also started doing the Mini series, and then they have some Toyotas. I'm gonna guess that that's a Supra. There you go. So you can now code Supras. Pretty sick. I should code a Supra on my channel. That'd be a good video. Anyways, that's really everything that I wanted to show you guys in terms of this. Now we're gonna head out to the car and get to coding, kind of run through everything that I want to code on the car. I do have a few things in mind. So I'll see you at the garage. All right, so in the garage with the M2, and now what I really want to code, I want those folding mirrors. Really want those. And then I'm gonna turn off the side markers with the DRLs. So these are not running all of the time. I am switching these out to LEDs, so it won't be as bad, but I've never liked how the side markers just run all the time. I prefer those off. I only want those on when I'm using my turn signal. Oh my God, a BMW driver that uses his turn signal. And then like I mentioned before, the other thing I want to turn off is the seatbelt reminder chime. The seatbelt reminder chime is continually going off when your seatbelt isn't on. No, I don't drive without my seatbelt on, but when I'm working on my cars, I am kind of moving them around the lot and back and forth to garages, and it just gets super annoying when you're just sitting there and you're just moving the car 10 feet and you don't have the seatbelt on and it's just freaking out. I don't recommend that everyone just does this so they can go out and drive without their seatbelt on. That's obviously not the case here. I'm just doing it so when I'm moving around the lot, it's not chiming in my face all the time. So we're gonna take that off, and then the legal disclaimer, I'm gonna go ahead and code that out because that's super annoying when you're turning on the car, and we'll kind of dig around and see what else we can find inside of the app. Let's hop in the car and start coding. All right, so we're in the car, pull out the adapter here. This is what it looks like. And this plugs into your OBD2 port, which is right over by your left foot underneath here. All right, so we have the adapter plugged into the OBD2 port. And there's a couple of ways you guys can do this. You can have the car running while you code, or you can just turn on the accessory mode. If you just do the accessory mode, it might be a good idea to a battery charger that's plugged into your car so the battery doesn't die while you're doing this. I know for a fact that my battery is super healthy and I'm not gonna be on this for a very long time, so I'm just gonna do it without a battery charger, but you guys use your own discretion when you do this. Usually I do code the car while the car is running, but the garage is closed and I don't wanna open it up. So we're just gonna go ahead and put it into accessory mode. All right, so we are now in accessory mode. That is the disclaimer that I'm probably gonna end up getting rid of. But overall, there's really not gonna be that much stuff that I'll need to code in this car. Just because, like I said before, this car already has so many features that I actually really like. There's only a couple of things that I wanna change: the indicator, the folding mirrors, and the actual side markers. So let's open up the app and get into coding. All right, so what we're gonna do first is go ahead and open the app. Make sure we have that OBD2 adapter plugged in. Go ahead and hit connect. Now, right here, you're gonna need to pick your actual adapter. You'll see that I have VPeak OBD check BLE selected. Cool. Connect. And you're gonna see all of the different chassis right here, and you're gonna need to find your chassis. You have everything listed right here in the forefront. Looking for my M2, bam, right there, second one up here. Identifying control units. So it might take a little while to read the ECU and figure out what your car is, what it can code, all that stuff. Just be patient, give it a little bit of time, let it load up. All right, now you can see that the main page is here and open. We're gonna go ahead and look through here. A lot of the stuff is gonna be in your front electronic module, but like I said before, you guys, you can just kind of mull through these categories and kind of see what you have available for coding. So let's go ahead and hop into front electronic module, because I know that that's really where I'm gonna be spending the most of my time. There's nothing really else that I want to change in this car. I love the way that it functions. I love the way that it works. just a couple of small things. So that's what we're gonna focus on, and maybe down the line if I end up changing something, I will go ahead and do that. It's pretty crazy the amount of stuff that you can change on these cars. I did a bunch of coding on my E90 M3 and pretty much coded everything that you could ever code on the F30. There's so many options, even like ambient lighting control. You can have the doors lock or unlock while you're driving, like just everything, pretty much everything. Front electronic module is probably gonna have the most features, so it's gonna take a little bit of time for that to load up. 100%. All right, so here we are. You guys can see here, ambient lighting brightness. I already have that all the way up. Shut off iDrive system when doors open. So there's all of these different things. Auto start stop function, which is off. Brake force display activation speed is already on. Convenient opening. I mean, there's so much stuff you guys can do here. It's pretty crazy. On mine, you can see that it has the headlight washers and they're active. That's probably something that I'll end up turning off. I don't really care about those. All right, so here are the mirror stuff. Unfold mirrors with convenient opening. Cool. We want that active. Fold mirrors with convenient opening. We want that active. And then it has fold, unfold mirrors automatically. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that one as active too. Sometimes you do have to mess with the convenient opening delay in order for it to kick in right away. If you don't, like on my E90, I don't have it kicking in right away. You have to hold it down for a little bit, but we'll see what happens. I think that that's what the automatic thing does. If you select fold, unfold mirrors automatically, it'll probably do it right away without changing that delay. Steering wheel with paddles. It's a manual, we don't have paddles. So if you guys look in here, you're also gonna see that it has like side markers lamp. It says bulb. That's gonna be changing to an LED, at which case you just go in there and change that over to LED. And then you would just make sure that the warm and cold monitoring is turned off. So anytime that you're switching out bulbs from like a halogen bulb to an LED, you can go ahead and code it in here so it doesn't throw a code on your actual dash. But we're not messing with that right now. Let's go ahead and check out the side marker stuff. US standing light. This light function where US are turned on. Light function where US side markers are turned on. Daytime running light. I think we only wanted a daytime running light. We'll mess with that and see what happens. Okay, so I think that's everything that I want in here. Let's go ahead and go up to the top right corner, hit code, and then start coding. And give this a minute, it'll throw up some errors. It's gonna reset the car. The errors are all normal, just let it do its thing and go through its process. All right, cool. So we handled that. Let's move back to the front page. We're gonna go do some other stuff. So the other one that we wanted to change was in the head unit, I believe, because we want to turn off the legal disclaimer that pops up when I first start the car. I just want it to go straight to my iDrive and Apple CarPlay. So we're gonna remove the legal disclaimer, which is the same thing. This is pretty much all the stuff that I code in every single car that I own because I just think it's the best. It's what I prefer. And that's why this app is so great, because you can really customize your car to how you want it to function. All right, so now we are in the head unit. And if you look here, they have the warning chime. You guys can change that to whatever you want. The maximum volume startups, all sorts of different stuff. My startup animation is my M. You can change it to a bunch of different stuff, Alpina, whatever you want. Tire pressure control, display temperature and pressure. Yes, that's how I like it. Display full text messages. You can do so much stuff, you guys. You can change the sports display color from red to orange. So warning at startup, we don't want that active. That's exactly what I want to get rid of, and that's all I want to mess with in here. The video in motion might be something that I mess with down the line, but for right now, we're good with that. So we're gonna go ahead and code that. So basically, when you're in separate categories, you can select a bunch of different things in that category and code them all at once. You don't need to do this individually for every single little thing, but when you go to different categories, you are gonna need to code separately every single time. So like front electronic module to the head unit, like I just did, you're gonna have to code that twice to do those two different things. You can't just code once to have it all done at once. But the nice thing is every time we are coding, there is a backup being made. So if we didn't like something or we wanted to revert, we can just hit the backup and it'll go back to where it was. All right, coding successful. So now we're gonna jump into advanced crash safety module, which should allow me to turn off the seatbelt chime indicator reminder thing that I was talking about before. All right, we are in here. Seatbelt reminder driver seat, not active. Seatbelt reminder passenger seat, not active. Oh, and so there's another indicator in the instrument cluster. Let's turn that off too. We don't want that all going on. Here's another one, initial seatbelt reminder after start. Let's turn that off. Basically turning all these off. We don't want them on. So let's go ahead and hit code again. If something didn't work in this process, you can always just troubleshoot, go back to where you were, kind of figure out why it's not working and what you want it to actually do. All right, we're good. So that's all the coding. Let's go ahead and hop out of the car and see if it worked. All right, so seatbelt is not on in the car. Let's go ahead and start it up. I don't hear any indicators. Do you guys hear any indicators? So we know that works. I'm just gonna go ahead and open up the garage so we're not suffocating ourselves. Sweet. So you can see these are no longer running while the car runs. My DRLs are on and the side markers are not on. I just like that better. I feel like the yellow just clouds up the entire front end of the car when that's running. So the only time that these are actually being used is when I'm using my turn signal. Okay, so now let's see if the mirrors fold when we lock and unlock it. The big moment. Haha, yep, it works. Perfect. Super cool. So I could also turn these off with unlock, so I can have them not do that when it unlocks, but I actually kind of like it when you unlock and lock it that it indicates that that's on. So these are going to be changed out to LEDs too, so it's going to look a little bit better, I think. Very cool. Awesome. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys that the legal disclaimer does no longer come up either. This goes straight to my iDrive. Awesome. Perfect, just how I wanted it. So once you guys are done coding, you can go ahead and take the Bluetooth adapter out. You don't need to leave that in order for the codes to remain active. You've now coded the car, you're good to go. Put this away and just save it for next time you want to code. I actually like to just keep mine with me at all times in my car in case I want to code something on the fly. Alright you guys, so that is it for today's video. Just a little Bimmercode tutorial and everything that I wanted to code on the M2. Like I said before, I'm going to link up the playlist, the Bimmercode playlist of pretty much everything I ever coded on the F30 and then some of the stuff I coded on the M3. Seriously, such a cool app to have. You can just customize your car any way you want to just have all the functions that you wish it had so it operates exactly how you desired. And just remember you guys, there is a link down in the description to the OBD2 adapter that I use, as well as a discount code. Go ahead and use that, save yourself a little bit of cash on the adapter. But if you guys have any questions or comments or anything you want to add, leave them down below. Make sure you like this video, hit that bell notification, and just like that, this video is over and I'm out. Peace.